T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Movies and Beyond. Once again, I am Michael, and today we're back, baby. Mad Matt, how you doing, brother?
Michael, I'm doing great. Happy Easter to everyone. And yes, we are back. I'm excited, and let's do it.
I am excited as well. Let's go ahead and see who we have in the chat, and definitely happy Easter, everyone. To everyone that celebrates, happy Easter. And if you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you're having a great weekend. So we've got Kelsey and Justin in the chat saying, hello, Matt and Michael. What's up, guys?
Justin, Kelsey, hello. Hello, my friends.
Jeff DeAngelo's in the chat saying, hello, everyone. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, Jeff.
And James has entered the chat. What's up, James? Hello, Matt and Mike. I hope you had a good Easter day. I did have a good Easter day, James. I hope you did as well, my friend.
Great to see you on here, James.
Russell Dorsey is in the house saying, what's up, everyone? I smashed that like button before I came in this awesome stream and chat, and happy Sunday, everyone, and happy Easter. What's up, Russell? Happy Easter and happy weekend, brother.
Happy Easter, Russell. Good to see you.
And Callie Duff's in the house saying, hi, what's going on? What's going on?
Callie, hello. Good to see you.
And I think that we have Teresa Stevens saying, hello, everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, Teresa.
Happy Easter, mother. Love you.
That's freaking awesome. We've been gone for, 3 weeks now? This is the third week if we didn't do a show. Yeah. I mean, I had an emergency situation last week, so I had to cut us short, and I do apologize for that. But, things come up, and what can you do? But we shouldn't be missing any time for a while. We should go on a nice little stretch here. I don't think that we have anything coming up to where we would keep, from not doing shows for a little while.
I'm game for a nice long stretch.
I think so too, man. I'm thinking about. Yeah, I'm thinking some things. I got some things on my brain that I'm thinking about for the channel, and I might let you guys know. Oh yeah, they're spinning, man. They never stop spinning, dude. But sometimes time doesn't let me do it. But I think I'm gonna be able to free up some time here and be able to work on this a little more, which excites me because I'm gonna get to talk to you guys a little more. But I wanted to talk about something else before we get started. Today, something amazing happened. And it happened on Easter Sunday, and I think that that's freaking fantastic. Today, this channel hit 400 subscribers. And I feel like we just talked about hitting 300 subscribers just a couple weeks ago. So for all the newcomers and all the people subscribing to this channel to hear, my idiot remarks about, what I think about these things and my friend Mad Matt here, we are very thankful and very grateful for all of you guys that always come by and hang out with us and all the subscribers that aren't here today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome. 400. It feels great. Thank you guys.
Maybe in the next couple weeks, we'll be talking about 500. And I think that we should do something special for 500. 500, 100 was, great, because that was like a first, little step to get 100. And I think 500's the next marker, and maybe if we hit 500 soon, we can just do a stream, that we dedicate to all the people and just do some Q&A and just celebrate the fact that we're up to 500 subscribers. We could talk about, we can leave it all on the table, just everybody talk about what they want to talk about, ask me and Matt questions about what we think of certain movies or whatever, and we can openly disagree with each other like we normally do on this and give you guys two different sides of the perspective, just like we always do. Does that sound about right to you, Matt?
Yes. And that actually sounds like a lot of fun. So to just have it open, talk whatever horror with our amazing fans. Yeah, that sounds good.
That would be freaking awesome. And something I don't normally do is we usually, a group of us, we will hang out, on Saturday nights, and we will usually, watch a horror movie together. Me and Mad Matt, a couple people that are actually in the chat, we'll get together, and we usually get late night horror conversations. I usually don't bring those conversations to the channel. And I know that I will lose this, especially with, the fan base being mostly horror in here. But one thing that I really wanted to bring up, and let me see if YouTube will let me do this, something I don't normally bring out of those conversations, Matt, but I want to talk a little bit about the movie Monster Squad and the movie Goonies, because that was kind of a topic.
That was a great conversation.
That was a really good one, man. And
yeah,
let me try to do something, because I am not with this.
That's funny, because I actually, in my head, I revisited that today. The Goonies Monster Squad conversation, and I'll let you do your thing, but I've got some new insights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That I believe clears up why someone's going to choose Goonies and why some others would possibly choose Monster Squad. I think it's more simple than we.
We like to make things.
Last night, but
we like to make.
Yeah. It's not. If you're debating, you don't want to keep it simple. You want to dive in. You want to dissect it.
Well, you remember the rat conversation?
I do.
I mean, that's another doozy, man, that at some point we may need to address. But I think the science needs to be looked at a little more with that one before I bring that to movies and beyond. So I'm not sure if this actually works, but I think I put a poll up in the chat here to say which is the better movie, Monster Squad or Goonies. And I would like everyone to throw a vote up there, and we'll take a look at it, later on in the stream, if you really need to think about this one. But, I'm not going to say which side I'm on, but I do feel like my side is going to lose on this one just because of,
really,
I do. What for our fan base, I do feel like, it's a.
But I'm sorry, but if you're talking movies in general, I would be shocked if Monster Squad's even in the ballpark with
right. Like if you were to drop it on, a non-horror fan, like a total fan base, I feel like that too. But any of those, we've got our community here, and I'm very curious to see what our community has to say about that one.
Really, our community is the only one that really matters.
It does, I mean, not that I don't love everyone, but the people that hang out with us, they kind of get first priority with that. Definitely, for sure. Let's see what we have here. Polar showed up saying, "Hey everyone, happy Easter, Polar."
Happy Easter, Polar. Good to see you.
Oh God, Polar, what are we doing here? What
Polar,
we were friends. What are we doing here? I love you, but what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Polar, you should put that on top priority with that one, because it is, it's a good one. Oh God, this is not.
It's for me. It's like a feel good horror movie. Like that's one I would put in if I'm having a bad day, and that'll cheer you right up, man. That's a feel good horror movie.
Most definitely. I mean, like I said, and we talked about this last night. I love both of these movies. Like if someone threw it in, like if I had a blind pick, and I put it in, I wouldn't be disappointed either way. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it's to me, it's freaking amazing like that. So, but yeah. So today we're going to talk about our top 10 horror icons. The ones that we believe are our top tens. Not saying that these are the top 10 horror icons. From either side, but they're just the ones that stick out to us, our top 10. And believe me, there are movies out there that I haven't seen to where people could say, this person is this and this is why, and they wouldn't be wrong, but these are the ones that stuck with me, and I'm sure these are the ones that stuck with you, Matt. And I really can't wait to get into that. I think there's a lot of cool conversations to be had.
Oh, absolutely. And with what you're saying, as far as there is no right or wrong on,
No,
on any of this stuff. It's just it's our opinion. It's what we like. You guys that chime in, what you like is what you like, and that's awesome. I want to hear about it. There is no right or wrong, man. It's just yeah.
Polar put a message up here for you, Matt, saying thank you for the Ghostface poster. I haven't been to work to pick it up. She was sick. We'll be in the office Tuesday, and I'm excited to see it.
Uh, Pleasure's mine, Puller. Pleasure's mine. I hope you love it, and I'm glad it's going to a true Scream fan. So yeah, pleasure's mine. You're
And
welcome.
Matt, this one will probably hit close to home for you, and you might need to take care of that. Teresa Stevens says, I haven't seen Monster Squad either,
Oh,
but I can say that my grandkids love Goonies.
oh, Mom. Sometimes you just keep things to yourself. Like, yeah, jeez.
We're just playing with you guys. We love you guys and everything, but you guys should get on that one seriously. Like,
But you
I would
should get on
definitely. You should. It's highly recommended. It's a good one.
Fun
It's
movie.
you said it best. It's a feel good. Definitely a feel good.
Family friendly. I think it's.
Yeah.
I want to say it's one of the first I watched with my daughter. She might have been 9 or 10, but I'm like, yeah, she can check out Monster Squad, and she enjoyed it. So
Definitely.
I was thrilled. It was a good break from Beauty and the Beast, and yeah.
Melissa's in the chat saying, hey, what's up, Melissa? Welcome.
Hello, Melissa. Good to see you on here.
James is saying Michael is my man, along with Jason, but Michael is number one to me. We knew that, James.
You're kidding me, James.
We
You're
knew
kidding
that. We knew it.
me, Michael.
Polar saying watch party? Question mark. That would not be a
Ooh.
bad watch party.
But we can't, correct?
We
Because
can if we watch it off screen.
okay,
So
that's right.
we can be up like this, and we would have to sync up with everyone on our TV or something. We
Okay.
just can't show it, and
I
they
keep
can't
forgetting
hear it.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Melissa is saying, "Hey Russell, I've never seen Monster Squad either." Melissa, that's a good one. You need to get it on the list.
I'm shocked.
Sure.
All the people haven't seen it.
Yeah. I mean, but hey, you guys, it's Goonies. It's Cyndi Lauper. It's Thanos before he was Thanos. It's so many good.
See, I wouldn't have known all that. Who's Thanos in the Goonies?
So do you need to know? Okay, so you want to know? Josh Brolin plays Thanos, right?
Okay.
And the Avengers.
I'll take your
He's
word for it.
also Bran, the older brother that they tie up with the exercise.
Absolutely.
equipment.
Okay.
So you got to think. You've got him. You've got Corey Feldman. You've got what's his name? Sean Austin. Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in it. You got the girl that was, kind of the nerdy girl that was with the dude, even the girl that was a cheerleader. Like those were 80s stars. You know what I mean? Like that was God, I love using this word, a plethora of talent in that movie. Like it was just Goonies. I love it so much. But yeah, so you ready to get started, Matt, on this ranking list? This
Absolutely.
list of our top 10 horror icons.
I am.
Jeff D'Angelo says Wolfman's got nards. And that's the thing I think of every time I think of the Monster Squad. I do. But let's go ahead and drop us out of the chat. Let's roll this intro. I have a little something different at the beginning of it, so don't freak out. But I think that it kind of describes me and Matt pretty well. So let me drop us out of here. We'll get this intro started. We'll get back and we'll start ranking these horror icons.
Let's do it, guys. Let's do it.
All right.
Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers. Thug life. And here we go.
I prayed that he would burn in hell, but in my heart, I knew that hell would not have him.
Then I will avenge his death.
Hello, Sydney. Are you
Don't you remember?
The Force will be with you, always.
I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us.
All right, and we're back. We're ready to get started. What you think, Matt?
I think I could always sit and listen to Michael's breathing. That's what I was thinking just before you spoke with me. Yeah, it's just so cool, man. It's
Through
so
the mask,
cool,
yeah.
man. What a great way to end that. Yeah.
I also like Sam
But
walking
that's
out
probably
the
not
door
what you
too.
were asking. Yeah.
I like Sam walking out the door, kind of like closing everything out. You know, he
Sam's
just kind
awesome.
of pieces out. You know, it's just like, yeah.
Question.
Right.
I've heard is there a Trick or Treat part sequel in the works?
Not that I've heard of. That
Is
doesn't
this
mean that it's
rumor
not
or-
happening.
Okay.
Because you got to think, you know, how popular that movie has become.
Well,
You know, just
and
kind of. They released it in theaters this year, this past Halloween. They
I forget who brought it to my attention, but they were even saying that it was going to go into some backstories as far as like the kids on the bus and whatnot, and man, it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm all for it. You know, more Trick or Treat, give you more Sam, and yeah, man.
but they did they re-released it in theaters.
They did last Halloween. They did.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, at least they did, you know, around here. I don't know if it was, you know, countrywide or worldwide or, you know, anything.
And that's
like
something
that.
I've never done. I think it's super cool, but you know, when they put like the original Exorcist back in theater or Halloween or something, that's I've never went, but that sounds really cool. Like,
Yeah.
to see some of those iconic films in the theater that you possibly didn't get a chance to when they were released. Because let's face it, I wasn't here in '78, and I'd love to go to a theater and see the original Halloween.
That would be freaking awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm definitely all about that for sure. Russell is saying Sam left because nobody was giving him candy. No, he did. And Jeff is saying I heard that also about Trick or Treat, and I mean that would be cool. Like I'll look into it. I'll see what I can find. And if I can find anything on it, I'll put it up. But I don't like to do that, until I find some material on it, because I don't want to say it's happening and then it's not. So
Right. And
but
really to piggyback off that's a reason I wasn't even sure if I wanted to bring it up. There are so many rumors and whatnot. You don't know what to believe half the time, but then there's times where it absolutely is legit and comes true. So
I did hear some bad news though. I'm sure that most people have heard it by now, but if you haven't, but apparently Bill Skarsgård is not playing Pennywise in the new Dairy show. So
that's official.
That's official.
Oh, that is bad news.
Yeah, that's
any reason behind that.
No, they didn't say nothing. They just said he's not in. So, but I mean, things could change, right? We got time. But as of right now, he's not. So,
and someone can come along and
kill
knock
it.
your socks off, man.
Right.
So
yeah. I mean, it's kind of disappointing because that's one of the things that I was looking forward to the most. But I mean, anytime you're going to give me another, it story, and then kind of explore Derry, I think that's kind of cool.
And I will say I give him a plus 110% on what he accomplishes Pennywise. I was taken back. He was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, we usually don't agree on that stuff, but I agree 100%. Like, he was awesome. Like, I totally loved the way he did Pennywise, 100%. But stuff doesn't always work out the way you want it, I suppose. But we got time. I'm just gonna take a look at this poll here. Oh, it's not looking good from my side, but we'll leave that up there for a little longer. Oh yeah, there it is. But top 10 horror icons, Matt. You want to get us started with that? Let's
I would love to get us started, Michael.
Let's get us started with
so that. Now we're going for number 10 first.
Number 10.
Man, I'm excited, guys. I'm sorry, but this excites me. Number 10, going with the one and only Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, that's a good one. Definitely a good one.
Hannibal the Cannibal. Now, I actually remember my parents watching this film, and they did not let me watch it with them.
You're talking about Silence of the Lambs?
Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
And that just intrigued me more, right? As a young kid, it's like, wait a minute, why can't I watch this? What's this all about? So I became obsessed, and I don't know exactly how it went down, but as soon as I was able to get a hold of that, I checked it out, and just phenomenal film. And speaking of performances, like we just were with Bill Skarsgård and Pennywise, Anthony Hopkins, guys, as Hannibal Lecter is just wow. Just stupid good.
Yeah.
Just stupid good. This intelligent cannibal. And it has everything. It has everything. The story's incredible. Down to, I'm having a brain fart. What the actress in Silence of the Lambs?
Oh, Jodie Foster.
Yeah, Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins they just shined, and it left me. And let's not leave out Buffalo Bill, just incredible. And I find out years later they got a lot of their material for Buffalo Bill through true crime. true serial killers such as Ted Bundy. You know, Ted Bundy would put fake bandages on his arms and whatnot, and lure these young girls in to help him put a kayak in his vehicle. That's where they got that scene where Buffalo Bill is struggling to get the couch in the back of the van. But stuff like that, I just think that is so cool, creative. And then Hannibal comes out. Killer film as well. Killer film. But yeah, I won't go on, but I'm a big Hannibal Lecter fan.
And no reason not to be.
It's just so iconic.
What about the show Hannibal?
Just so iconic. I hate to say I have not yet.
Yeah, you need to get on that one.
And I've heard that.
Hooser, what's his name? I don't remember his name, but dude kills it too.
I've heard that.
That character alone, dude, is just
from multiple people.
Love him.
James
is saying, what? Number 10? No way.
Do you know what that might possibly would be streaming on, Hannibal? If
they're talking about in the chat that it's actually on Tubi right now. So
got it. Thank you, Russell. Awesome. But that has definitely been on my list. But yeah, Hannibal Lecter all day. And I actually feel like he deserves a better spot, but we'll get into that later. You know, it's not easy, guys, picking your top 10 icons. It's not. So
yeah, it's definitely not.
Oh, you know, yes, the Ted Bundy movie on Tubi. Yes, I love those films. I love those films. If they do it on Ted Bundy, Gacy, yeah, they're enjoyable.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, Mary Lee is on here. Great to see you, Mary Lee. Great to see you, my friend. Hello.
Buffalo Bill, what did you kill? Buffalo Bill, hey, Buffalo Bill. Look at James.
You know, and I almost feel like Buffalo Bill takes a back seat because Anthony Hopkins was so good.
Oh, dude.
But so was Buffalo Bill, guys.
He was. So, even the guy from freaking Red Dragon was freaking awesome.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's.
Yes. It puts the lotion on the skin. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He was so creepy.
He was.
In the best way.
So for my number 10, granted, is not as star-studded as Anthony Hopkins. You know, freaking phenomenal. And we might get to Hannibal Lecter a little later on my side. Because he's definitely one of the juggernauts of this list. The new guy worked his way into number 10 for me. And by the new guy, I'm going to say Art the Clown made it in number 10 for me. And I don't know if that has anything to do with Horror Hound and them being so cool when we got to meet them. But, man, I'll tell you what. I definitely think that this guy, and we've talked about it on previous shows too, that he's having an impact. I mean, popularity-wise, you know, he's definitely creepy. He's the guy that doesn't have to say anything, but he'll say a million things with his face, his mannerisms and everything. And he's truly a creepy freaking character. Like if you were walking down a street and you saw him, it's like, look, you know what? Look, man. Like, there is not going to be I will pass on the left and you pass on the right. You know, I'm just turning right around and going the other way. Like, the first terror. I mean, you could go back to All Halloween
or not, Michael.
Yeah,
whether it's
it doesn't matter,
not,
right?
Yeah,
you go back to All Hallows Eve, but you know, I'm more in the realm of Terrifier and Terrifier 2. I just think that, you know, the character keeps getting better to me. You know, just more of Art. I want to see more of Art, and I think that there's a big fan base that wants to too. And I'm going to leave him at number 10. Number 10 for me.
I dig it.
Clown. What are you looking at for number 9, my friend?
I dig it, and I wanna say spoiler. Art did not make my list.
Okay,
but he was close, ladies and gentlemen. He was close, and he was definitely on my mind. So he could possibly be somewhere back there in 12, 13. But yeah. So Number 9. I'm going with my boy Chucky.
Oh shit.
I'm
Chucky's in the house.
I'm going with my boy Chucky. Now, I've had a lot of fun with Chucky over the years. I've had a lot of fun. And he is, I'm going to say, typical of most horror franchises. There's Chucky's, there's Child's Plays I enjoy. There's Child Plays that I could do without. But I want to say the original is high up there for me. High up there for me. And he's similar to Freddy. You know, he down the road he started getting, you know, I mean, Chucky's funny, man. Chucky's funny. But people, and I think that people forget how terrifying these characters were when they originally came out. You know, Chucky was, the original Child's Play was not funny. And if you were to put it on paper saying, you know, what this film's about, this doll, blah, 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 I would probably never watch it. It sounds stupid. But they nailed it. The original Child's Play, they nailed it. And there was tons of creepiness to it, especially for the time. You know, the whole when she checks the batteries and then boom, his head spins. Or I'm sorry, guys, but I would have been gone. You know, similar to you talking about, you know, passing Art in the alley, you know, but I've got this concern that this, you know, people have been talking this doll might be alive, but that's BS. But I'm going to check the batteries just in case.
Right.
And then right as you see there's no batteries, he wants to spin his head and start talking to you. I'm sorry, but no. But it was a great film. It was a great film. And I've said this before on the channel, as far as horror comedy, I'm hit or miss. I'm by no means the biggest fan, but there are definitely some horror comedies that I enjoy. And one of them that I believe could be way up at the top as far as horror comedies for me. That's my opinion. I put it in a horror comedy category, but it's Bride of Chucky. That first Bride of Chucky, man, that's a fun ride. And Tiffany and Chucky going at it, their banter and everything was a fun ride. But yeah, Chucky, I've had a lot of good times with him over the years. I got to give him a spot, and he's going to take number 9 for me.
Yeah, Chucky, that's a good one. You know, as well for me, Chucky didn't make the list, but he's probably around the number 12 for me as well.
Okay,
you know, he's iconic, dude. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows who Chucky is, whether you were alive when they were coming out or not. I mean, I just see it all the time with the way, you know, like when I'm up at your shop and everybody loves Chucky, man.
They do. They love Chucky.
Everybody freaking loves Chucky. And yeah,
I'm staring at him right now. It's kind of starting to creep me out, but yeah.
Is there batteries in that thing?
No, I don't believe so. But yeah, love Chucky. Love Chucky.
Definitely.
So what do you got, Michael?
Well, so my number 9, and I know that my number 9 is not one person, but I'm going to go with Ghostface. Number 9 is going to be Ghostface from Scream. The iconic suit, you know, many people have worn it, and I think that is definitely one of my top 10 horror icons. Ghostface, man. I mean, there are some damn good Scream movies. You know what I mean? Whether you're happy with the ghost face at the end or not, with the reveal, you know, it always kind of keeps you guessing throughout the movie. And I'll tell you what, when Ghostface is killing, he's got his mannerisms too, and they all have it. You know, he's badass. Like from the way that the suit looks and everything, you know, that's something that's grown on me over the years. You know, and when he kills someone and he takes it and he wipes the blade like so and so. You know, I look forward to those things. I'm like, he did it. You know what I mean? And it's just, I got to throw Ghostface in there as my number 9, for sure. Like, yeah,
I will 100% agree with the wipe and the blade. That has become very cool. And yeah, Ghostface has also grown on me. However, he did not make my list, but he's grown on me over the years, for sure. But nice pick, Michael.
James is saying Chucky was probably the funniest slasher character. Made me laugh my head off.
He was, man. And my dad, we were talking the other day. He loves how, like, when Chucky will latch onto somebody and his legs are kicking like 90 mile an hour when he's pissed off. He's got, dude, he is a trip. And he's vicious, man. God, if he was bigger, man, Michael Jason, watch out, because he do when Chucky's pissed, man, he's pissed. Like, I love it. I love it. So
Russell is saying, is that Art the Clown behind you, Matt?
yes, no. Well, yes, yes. This is Art right here. That is Art, correct. This is the Art mask from Trick or Treat Studios, and this is Art, the 1/12 scale figure from Trick or Treat. Yeah, you got it. You got it, Russell. When he first said I looked at the nun, I thought maybe he was thinking, Dude, this camera work just throws me off.
You start pointing left when you want to point right.
Yeah.
And I just did that backwards because that's my left. And
Okay.
Yeah, I get it, man. I just try not to reach behind me and point at anything.
Art.
It freaking works for me. Number 8, sir. Where are you at with number 8?
Okay. And I'll also say real quick before I go to 8, I'm just gonna say I've got a few kills for you guys now.
Oh yeah, we didn't really talk about that.
I'm not gonna go into any crazy detail, but I'll say, and I tried not to overthink this list as far as my kills, but I wanted to go with what popped in my head. As far as Hannibal Lecter, bows out, man, bows out. On Hannibal, the movie Hannibal, when he says bows in or bows out, and just guts the guy and tosses him out the window.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so badass. It's brutal. It's creepy. But I had to say it. That stuck out for me. That was so good. And when it comes to Chucky, the voodoo knife kill where he's got the doll and he's just cracking the guy's legs and his arms with that voodoo doll. But I thought it was genius. I thought it was creative as all get out, and it was cringy, man. Like you felt that guy's bones break. And but yeah, those are my kills for Hannibal and Chucky. So,
well, before you get started on 8, let me talk a little bit about Art the Clown's kill that always stuck out to me was when he had that girl hanging upside down and sawed her in half. Now, granted, the Terrifier 2 kill in the bedroom was probably a little more crazy, but the one that sticks with me the most, probably because it was the first time,
I get it,
like shock value.
Yeah.
Where he cut that girl in half, hanging upside down, like that always sticks in my head with Art the Clown.
I would agree.
And if I'm thinking Ghostface, I mean the one that pops in my head, right away, as unrealistic as it was, it still sticks in my head, and that was Tatum's death in the original with the garage door, where she tries to get through the little cat door, and he just turns that thing on, and it goes all the way up and crushes her, and then falls back down. But those two, kills for those characters, those are two that definitely stick out for me.
Very good kills. Very good kills. If I was to chime in, even though Ghostface is not on my list, the kill that sticks out to me is Drew Barrymore.
I knew you were going to say that. That was high on my list. Yeah,
because I remember watching that in the theater, and I was just like, "What did this really happen?" I mean, I don't think I'm alone where we thought Drew was going to be in the entire film, and they did it so well. Like, kind of slowed the camera down as he got closer to her, and you're like, wait a minute, he's getting a little close for comfort. Is this, and then he just digs it in, and you're just almost still thinking, is she good? Yeah, I'll go with that one. But yours is good as well.
I think the only thing that ruins that kill for me was the movie Scary Movie with Carmen Electra running away the same way. And he stabs her and her silicone comes out. It just, so now every time, I watch Scream and Drew Barrymore's running, I start laughing because I think about Scary Movie when he's chasing Carmen Electra, in the same exact way.
I get that.
And that happens. So
That's funny. I get that. So, all right. Number 8. this iconic beast, it's got a special place, with me. Guys, I'm going with Pumpkinhead.
Oh, okay.
I'm
The
going.
seriousness on your face when you
I'm,
said
I'm
Pumpkinhead.
going. Man, this is stuff, man. I don't talk on a horror channel because I like Marvel, man. It's near and dear to me, and God, I love Pumpkinhead. Now, Pumpkinhead 2, 3, you know, I'll still put them in, because I get a little glimpse of Pumpkinhead.
Right.
But I'm pretty much strictly talking about the original. Stan Winston, that was his first movie that he directed. And Stan Winston, guys, is just a master. He's a beast. He's, what he's created, from Terminator to Jurassic Park to, it's just, his list goes on and on. And this creature, Pumpkinhead, is absolutely gorgeous and terrifying in the best way. And it's just, in its 80s horror at its best. I love everything about it. And we've got Lance Henriksen in there. We've got his connection with his boy, and this movie about vengeance, and you start to feel for him. You've got also in Pumpkinhead, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but you've got the most, in my opinion, the most underrated witch of all time. The witch in Pumpkinhead, she's unreal good. She's creepy. She rivals any witch you can bring up, as far as I'm concerned. She's fantastic. But, I won't go on and on. The atmosphere is great. Pumpkinhead looks fantastic. It's got a good storyline. You feel for him. But I wish we could get another decent Pumpkinhead. I don't know if they need to remake it, but
I mean, apparently it's time for remakes. You know what I mean? Like,
what's
not
that?
as much. I said apparently it's the time for remakes. I mean, not as much so as in the mid two.
Yeah,
late,
yeah. And
late
I'm
early
game.
10 years
I'm
of
game.
2000.
Like by no means do I want them to go off of Pumpkinhead 4 or 5 if there's that many. I don't even know. But let's just leave those behind. Let's go back to the roots, and let's give us a good Pumpkinhead. But I absolutely love the film. So number 8, Pumpkinhead for me.
You got a kill for that one?
I do, and it's going to be the shotgun kill.
Okay.
Where the teenager that's probably 27 is laying on the ground, and he sticks him with the shotgun. Sticks the shotgun through him, lifts him probably 10 feet up in the air, and you see that like silhouette of it all going on. And yeah, so it's going to be the Pumpkinhead shotgun kill for me.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So my number 8, number 9 was Ghostface. My number 8, I'm going to stick with a face, but it's going to be another face. It's going to be Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And this is number 8. Okay.
Number
okay,
8. Yeah.
Okay. That hurts a little, but I'll let you talk.
Get him, cuz. So yeah, Leatherface. I really enjoy Leatherface. It's not in my top 5 or anything like that, but I always look at things a little differently. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's always a good time, whether it's a great one or it's a bad one, because this movie or this franchise has them on both sides.
Sure.
Just like anything else, you're either going to get a really decent one or you're going to get one that you just wish you never even took the 2 hours to watch. But Leatherface is a character. He made the chainsaw iconic, for the killers. Like, if you think about it, him and Bruce Campbell, those are the only two that, really deserve to have the chainsaw. Leatherface is definitely my number 8. And it might surprise you which is my favorite kill, because we just had it. And I would have to say that when he was on the bus in the newest one and just went to town with that chainsaw, it was freaking crazy. Granted, there was a lot of CGI and stuff, man, but if you ever wondered what happened if Leatherface was on a bus, full of people. You got your wish answered there. It was just, it was crazy. Now, granted, the movie wasn't perfect. It had a few things in it that I definitely didn't really care for, but at the same time,
They
that
were
bus
running and
scene, man.
slipping on blood, man.
I
Like,
mean, it was
bloodbath.
just to the point to where I was like, God dang, man, like this, he's still going. It's like a 5-minute scene where he's just sawing people in half. And it was just great, man. That's definitely my number one Leatherface kill. There are a lot of good ones, but to me, that's the one that really sticks with me. And it's probably it's crazy that it just happened last year. Like literally around this time last year that we got that.
Nah, that's a great kill, Michael.
Yeah, most
Or a
definitely.
great 14 kills, 15, however many people are on that bus. Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. So 7.
7.
Oh, Russell's got 7. Leatherface.
James comes
Awesome,
through
awesome.
with number 3.
So for 7, I'm going with my boy Pennywise. I'm going with Pennywise. And we were just talking about him, and it's a shame. It's a shame. But man, let's stay positive. If it's not Bill Skarsgård, maybe somebody's going to come out of the woodwork and just kill this role. I don't know, but I hope so. But they've got some serious shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Pennywise from the 1990, made for TV, the Tim Curry. I absolutely loved it. I want to say as a kid, after I checked it out, I was probably watching that sucker once or twice a week for some time. Just could not get enough of this clown. And the story, the kids, it's just, and when you're that age, you can relate. And when you're a true horror fan, Pennywise is terrifying in the best way. I still think to this day that there's some scarier scenes in the original that they can't really top today. The old lady when she's drinking the tea and it's blood in the 1990s, she's just got that creepy smile and she's trying to be sweet, but she's sitting there drinking. Yeah, like, dude, that was, and they run out and they turn around and it's Pennywise standing there. It was awesome. That was so awesome. And then out of nowhere, it felt like to me, I thought that movie was a one and done and it was just going to go down in history as, what it is. And then here in 2017, I realized they're bringing it back and I was on cloud 9, but I was nervous. It's your baby. You've loved it. You don't want to screw up. And they did not. It was amazing. And just like we were saying, Bill Skarsgård did not just do the role justice. He killed it. And I just put those guys at a tie. I don't say, hey, this one's better, that one's better. They were different.
They both did their job.
They both did it. It was different times. It was different scripts, but I pretty much like them both equally. I really do. But I will say one thing that was an upgrade for sure was Pennywise's look. 2017, I don't know who came up with that, but damn.
Yeah.
Damn, he looks good.
He does.
Stupid good. I recently purchased a bust for my personal collection. And I next time we're on here, I'll have to show you guys because if it's halfway as good as I think it's going to be, it's going to be something. But just it's a beautiful, he's an amazing character. But I don't know who came up with that. But it was genius. And he's got like that, almost like some type of old school clown look, but like a new age face that just works. It's weird, but it works. So I'm going with Pennywise, man. Love me some Pennywise. Love me some It. Give me some more.
Pennywise didn't make my list, but Pennywise was number 11. You know what I mean? Like he was right there because I really had to dig deep for this one. And don't get me wrong, I own freaking the 90s version and It 1 and 2 from 2017. I absolutely
Yeah.
love them, but I just
Yeah.
feel like 10 wasn't enough. You know, like it. Oh God, and he's right there. You know what I mean? He's right on the outside looking in. And when you said I was like, man, he's like right there.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's yeah.
I thought that when you said art.
Eh,
I thought the same thing when you said art.
Yeah, Pennywise, dude, he's a great character. Great character. I guess asking, are you only ranking the antagonist? Yes, today we are only ranking the antagonist.
Oh, and Michael, I will say, guys, real quick, favorite kill, Georgie. Period.
Which one?
Does not matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me. But just the whole drain scene, it's stupid iconic. it's so
Well,
good.
you got to think too.
Oh.
It set the tone for the whole movie.
You know, it did. Oh, if I had to say which one, I might have to get back with you on that.
All right.
But yeah, it's
Next
just
week on Movies and Beyond.
Georgie.
Live.
The conversation with Georgie, I am just like, don't interrupt me. Don't a door open. Like you're zoned in when and with that when that scene's on screen. You were just, yeah. It's so awesome.
Kelsey and Justin came through with "You'll Float Too," and it's like, man, that kill really set the tone for both of those movies.
Yeah,
you know, it really did. We on number 7. I need to start marking these.
You should be on 7. Okay. Yes, sir.
Let me mark these off. That's why I do that, because I can't freaking remember anything. All right, so my number 7. This might be a little surprising, and some of you guys may not consider.
I like surprises.
It won, but I am going to go with Jaws. I am going to go with the shark and freaking Jaws. We really don't talk too much about Jaws on this, but for 70s horror, Jaws is in my top 2 movies. That movie alone, like, who cares about 2, 3, and 4? Really? I don't. You know what I mean? I really don't care.
It's in my top 4 of all time.
The original Jaws, man. I mean, the dialogue alone in that movie.
I forgot about Jaws, guys.
The dialogue alone in this movie, when they're sitting on the boat and he's telling the story, about when he was in the Navy and they were delivering the bomb. It just really hit me, even as a kid, like, holy shit, like, this is serious. You know what I mean? Like, this is a serious, and to go back and watch as an adult and understand all the things that they were talking about, I just look at it, man, and I'm just like, this is perfection. Like, if you want serious dialogue and believable dialogue and realistic, dude, it was. If somebody asked me what's one of the best scenes of any movie of all time, that scene would rank in there for me. I'm not going to say it's the best movie scene of all time, but it's in the game. I look at that and I'm just like, oh my God. And my favorite kill from Jaws would have to be when Quint got killed, when the boat captain was getting slowly.
They were almost not going to do that scene.
like
Jaws pops out of the water.
And it was right after they had that moment, to where up to that moment, you're like, Quint, this guy's kind of a dick. You know what I mean? He's just kind of douchey, but he opened himself up to those guys, man. He really started to feel for that character.
Love
and
Quint.
Then it's just like, I mean, Richard Dreyfuss, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, Kelsey and Justin just put it up on the freaking, we're going to need a bigger boat. I mean, that is freaking iconic. You know what I mean? Like that. I love Jaws, and that's why the shark from Jaws is my number 7.
I do too, Michael. I do too. And I got to say, I apologize, guys. I just was more thinking I wasn't thinking more like a creature type of thing, but I'll just have to disregard it. But Jaws is definitely somewhere on my list. Not tonight, because
will be tomorrow.
I left him off, but yeah, Michael, that's just hell of a pick, my man.
I do want to take a moment. Katie from Popping the Popcorn stops by saying, "Hey friends, hey Katie, how you doing?"
Hello, Katie. Good to see you on here.
Russell is saying, "I like Jaws 1 and 2."
Agree.
I did like
100% agree
Jaws
with you.
2. 3 and 4 I really don't care about, but 2, 2 was good. It was a good movie,
It
but
was.
it fails in comparison to the original.
It was.
To
And
me,
I would even say, I'll go as far as to say if there was no Jaws 1, it would be a fantastic shark movie.
yeah,
Jaws 2 would be a fantastic shark movie. And I do enjoy, yeah, you could not have said that better, Russell. Jaws 2 is very, very decent.
Yeah.
For sure. 3, 4 is, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah, two's no joke, man. Two's no joke.
I don't really ever get to talk about Jaws on here, so this was like a treat for me. I freaking absolutely
And it is,
love that movie.
Michael. It's in my top 4 of movies of all time.
Yeah.
It's I love Jaws, man.
That's surprising because it's in my top. I'd say at least top 5 or 6,
Yeah.
for sure. All right,
All right,
we
man.
are to number 6.
So 6 is going to my girl, Reagan.
Reagan.
Love her, man. I love me some Reagan. And guys, I'm an honest guy. As much as I hate to say this, I watched the original Exorcist for the first time about 2 years ago. Seriously, about roughly 2-3 years ago. And here's the reason. So I grew up loving horror, right? I'm watching my Michaels and my Jasons. And I just always knew that The Exorcist was made back in 1973. I knew the gist of it. It's a possession film, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, in my mind, I thought, 1973. I guarantee it's cheesy. It looks bad. Blah blah blah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I always avoided it. I did. And a couple years ago, I'm riding around with a buddy. I was driving a dump truck at the time, and I had a partner with me, and he brought it up for whatever reason, and I thought, you know what? It's time, man. I got to check this out. It's iconic as all get out. Let's not even talk about how iconic this film is. So I check it out. And I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times, just back to back in a couple of days, man. It's so before its time. The makeup looks good today. It could not be on screen today. What she says, what she does is just the shock value in this film is through the roof, man. And yeah, guys, I became an overnight just fan fanatic of the Exorcist. And now, they're going to remake it. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they've signed on for like a 3-film deal, or if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And I'm
David Gordon Green.
Yeah, and you know what? As much as I've talked about, I despise Halloween Ends, but by no means is that me saying that David Gordon Green can't bust out some juggernauts of films. He absolutely can. So it's not like I've lost all hope in the guy. But David, do my girl right. I'm ready, and I'm super excited for some more Exorcist.
So what I hear is Reagan's supposed to. She's the girl, the actress that plays Reagan. Her name's slipping my mind right now.
Linda Blair.
Yeah, Linda Blair signed on to be in that movie, so she's going to be in a couple scenes.
I'm so down for that.
But I mean, with what we saw with Halloween, I always joke around and say, well, at least we know the first 2 should be pretty decent.
Right. Yeah, it's like, why couldn't you saw them for like 2 or 4?
Yeah, at least we know the first 2.
But I'll say one more thing before I'll say, as far as possession and exorcism films, I think above all films, they are more hit or miss than any film ever. There's a few good gems in there, and there's some just god awful possession actresses in film. So just do your homework, take your time. I hope you knock this out. And I'm gonna say, as far as my favorite kill from Reagan, it's gonna be when she takes out Marin, the priest, off screen, and then they come in and she's doing that little laugh, holding her teeth in the corner of the bed. I just like,
Yeah.
God, it's stupid creepy,
Yeah.
and I love it in
Yeah.
every way. But that's gonna be my favorite kill for her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that movie scared shit out of me as a kid. Sorry for my language, but Jesus Christ, man. I saw that one way too young to where it had like, that impact on me to where it's like, and I'm 45, like, You know what I mean?
And that tells you a lot about,
Yeah.
what that they were able to do that through a film. It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I could go back and watch that now, and I probably like there are bits and pieces that I remember, and then there's bits and pieces that you see on the internet and stuff. You know what I mean? But to really go back, we may have to throw that in on one Saturday night, man, and check that out. See if I don't
You
freak
will
out.
absolutely
Yeah.
not have to twist my arm, Michael. I'm so down for Exorcist anytime.
Before I get to my number 6, I just wanted to throw this out there. If you are enjoying yourself, please, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up, like down in the like section there. We'd appreciate it, and it really helps out the channel here. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'll be coming out with a lot of stuff here coming up real soon. But number 6 for me is someone we've actually spoke about already, but I do have a few things that I want to add to that. My number 6 is Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, the show, Red Dragon. This guy's iconic. Whether he's being played by Anthony Hopkins or the Hannibal that's on the show. They're both great in their own ways. They're played a little differently, but it's not enough to be like, oh, that's not Hannibal Lecter. I'm really excited, Matt, because you haven't seen the show, that you get to go through that.
How many series?
Seasons?
Yeah, seasons. I'm sorry.
I want to say it was like 4.
Okay.
Something. It's been a couple years since
I'm gonna try my best to start it soon.
Yeah. It's definitely been a couple years since I've seen it. Probably something I wouldn't mind watching again, just because it was that good. Okay, Russell's saying it was 3. There were 3 seasons. So they kind of ended on a cliffhanger. So I was always hoping for that next season to come around. But yeah, definitely a great series. Hannibal Lecter, my favorite kill will always be in Silence of the Lambs, where he puts that security guard's face on his own after he kills that guy, and they cart him out like this guy's still alive.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, you want to talk about not only the balls to do something like that, but the intelligence of this man. Like, I always make the joke, like, what if Loomis wasn't Michael's psychiatrist and Hannibal Lecter was? What would that have made Michael?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, what would that have done to him? Like, what if you took Loomis out of the equation totally and threw him in there?
And it makes Hannibal that much more terrifying that he is so intelligent. Like,
God, dude, like, his intelligence is he's probably, I can say this, looking at my list, he's the smartest person on my list. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it always gives him a chance. The man is just brilliant, as gross as he is, he's brilliant. And, just little things like that, to where another kill, I think it was Red Dragon.
So you think he's smarter than Leatherface?
Oh, just a little bit. In Red Dragon, where he didn't like that one person in the orchestra, and he killed them because he thought he was messing up the song, and they were all wondering where he was, and he was feeding that guy to them. It was just like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
That's the one I have not seen in quite some time. I got to revisit Red Dragon. Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen, that's his name. Yeah, he was also in Rogue One as well. I know you don't know Star Wars stuff, but he's a great actor. He's been in a lot of stuff. And yeah, he did a freaking great job. Russell saying, I've been hearing Netflix wants to do a season 4 of Hannibal. I've heard that as well, but it's been a while since I've heard it, so I figured it just kind of fizzled out. Hopefully they're still working on that. That would be freaking awesome. James is saying, oh, go ahead.
I've yet to hear anyone that says the movie. Everyone says Hannibal was great. So why not?
I mean, it's like any show. You got your bangers, and then you got your fucking snooze fest ones. You know what I mean? But you know, at the end of the day, it's a great
What's
show.
James saying?
James is saying, Clarice, would you like to dine with me? Why don't you try brain salad? It's quite yummy. I love you, James.
That's such an iconic part when he's literally feeding. What's that actor's name? Unfortunately he's passed away.
That's Ray Liotta.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they're cooking it and he's eating it and talking about how good it is, and it's so creepy, man.
Yeah.
It's like almost hard to watch.
Yeah. And he's just being patient with him, like tapping him on the shoulder, like it's okay.
Yes.
You know, like that's how freaking far gone this guy is, man.
He's like got a little bit sweating and there's like a little bit of blood trickling, but he's smiling, just talking. Like it's creepy in the best way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That scene's crazy. Only in a Hannibal film. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
number 5. We are officially halfway through our list.
Yeah, so 5 for me, and I'm so glad I got to meet this gentleman, and it is Doug Bradley, Pinhead. I was able to catch him up at Horror Hound, and he's been on my list, and he was awesome. Guys, listen. The franchise of Hellraiser by no means is my favorite. But we're not talking franchises. We're talking iconic horror villains, correct?
Yeah.
And guys, he's got to make this list. Pinhead, I've said this numerous times. When Pinhead is on screen and he talks, you shut up and listen. Everything and now when we're talking intelligence, I put him right behind Hannibal. And if he's not right there with Hannibal, this demon is not stupid by any means. And he's guys. And I've also said I'm all about look, and he's got it tenfold, man. He looks so badass. He talks badass. I absolutely love Pinhead, man. I love the first Hellraiser, and then it's another franchise where there's a few I like, and there's just some god awful ones. You know, I'm a big fan of Bloodline, but as far as his character, he's just awesome. He's awesome. The art, the atmosphere, everything he brings. And as far as kills, I had trouble with this one. You know, because he kills in a different way. We're not talking Jason with a machete or Michael with a knife. We're talking about an intellectual demon here. So I'm going to just say hooks, guys. When he tears a person's flesh off of their body with the hooks that just come out of nowhere and just rip them apart, I love it. I love it. It's so gnarly. But that's going to be my kill for Pinhead, and he takes number 5. So that's pretty high up there as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
Pinhead was definitely in my top 15 for sure.
Pinhead's my number 5.
Yeah.
And Michael, while you get into your 5th one, I'm going to take a quick little break and be right back, my man.
I will go ahead and wait for you to get back, and I will go through some of the chat and talk with our people.
Great.
Whoa, that made me big on the screen. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Russell, you're saying that your number 5 is Jason. That's not bad. Jason is definitely one of my top guys for sure. Spoiler alert there. Pinhead is such a chilling villain. Pinhead is a chilling villain. Like with me, I'm not as big on, Hellraiser as Matt is. But I really appreciated Hellraiser 1 and 2. After that, it kind of lost me. Um, but I definitely appreciate the character of Pinhead. Not only his look, the way he sounds, it's just overall chilling character. And I mean, if you get into like debates on who would win, there's not a whole lot of people that could really beat Pinhead. Pinhead is just a phenomenal character. James is saying Pinhead is such an awesome character. The way he talks is so creepy. All those nails in his head must have had small fortune at Home Depot. Yes, he probably did. James, you just said a lot of the things that I just said. That's great. Russell saying Hellraiser 3 is my favorite. Yeah, I mean, I'm a 1 and 2 guy. I don't know. When I start getting into, multiple sequels, now granted that goes out the door when we're talking about, Halloween, Friday the 13th. Kind of talking out of both sides of my mouth for that. But I don't know. It just got a little redundant to me. But then again, it's been years since I've seen it, so it's probably something that I should go back and take a look at. I like to do that every few years to stay fresh. I kind of have old brain, so I things kind of just slip out of my mind there. Jeff is saying, I feel like I need to go to church and ask for forgiveness after watching Hellraiser 3. I get it, man. There are movies that are like that for me. Like it's not just, so much like going to church or stuff, but you know, excuse me. Every time I watch like a Texas Chainsaw movie, they're just so gritty. Like the tone, the atmosphere, and what goes on within the Texas Chainsaw movies. It just feels like it just makes me feel like almost like I need to take a shower afterwards. Like they're just always so freaking gritty. So I kind of get what you're saying about Hellraiser, Jeff. Hellraiser, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering. Might be one of my favorite quotes of all time. That is a good quote.
I believe that's my good friend Lydia. Lydia, good to see you on here, my friend. And speaking of that, he has Pinhead probably has more iconic quotes than anyone.
More than Jason?
Yes. 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 Yes.
I couldn't even keep a straight face with that one.
Yes. And I didn't even get it until you started laughing. I was on Pinhead all the way. But no tears, please. I am the way. It's just God, man. He says it so good. Pain. I am pain. Like, come on.
Yeah. Before I forget about this, like I was just talking to them, sometimes I have old brain and I forget stuff. I've only heard Jason talk one time and it infuriated me in a Friday the 13th movie. Can anyone name which movie Jason actually spoke? Love the look right now.
I bet.
And you stay off of Google, people. Stay off of Google.
I like the look on your face when you
stay off of Google. Don't cheat.
I
would say put your phones down, but some of y'all might be watching on their phones. So I'm not going to do that.
Jason never talks.
He did. He did.
Was he young? No.
No. No, he wasn't.
Michael, you got to say something. I don't know. When did Jason talk?
I will answer it. He did speak in Jason Takes Manhattan when he was in the sewer and the toxic waste was running through. He looked over with that hideous face and said, "Mommy, look." That's one of the things that infuriates me about that movie.
Yeah.
But he did speak. Anyway.
Lydia, did she... I believe she said, Jesus Christ, not quite. And what is the rest of that quote from Pinhead? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's just not. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, Pinhead.
Jesus Christ. And he's like,
Dude,
not quite. Yeah.
Pinhead is just God. He's so good. He's so awesome. I love him. I love him. So we share that. Yeah, for sure.
Russell saying, laugh my ass out. If he talked, I don't remember.
Yeah, and it almost sounds like he. It almost sounds like he's saying it as a
Oh,
child.
look at her. Of course, it would be Jason Takes Manhattan.
Right.
Polar comes back like, do we count Jason Takes Manhattan?
Do we count it?
When he was in the toxic waste in number 8. Well done.
Jason Takes Manhattan probably it definitely aged worse than any Friday the 13th. Because as a kid, I enjoyed the hell out of this film. And let's face it, it's a Jason movie. I can still watch it today, guys. I'm not gonna lie, but it's
you just mute that part where he says "mommy."
It's pretty bad, but
yeah. I do like the punch the head off the top of the building kill, though.
It has some parts. It has some
does.
moments.
It does.
Yeah, come on.
His Times Square stand too. That's pretty cool. But all right, so I suppose that I'm on number 5.
You are
on number 5, and I don't know that this is popular because I feel like I'm the only person ever giving this character some love, and I absolutely love the character. It's Samara Morgan from The Ring. I absolutely love Samara.
I dig that, Michael. Do your thing, man. Let's hear it.
To me, Samara might be the creepiest girl of all time. Granted, she didn't come out in the 80s and stuff, and I feel like, the later movies, they don't get as much love, but there are so many iconic scenes in The Ring. Like the first time I saw The Ring was in theaters, and the first time you saw that first victim's face was all sucked in and like, had the life sucked out of it. I was just like, oh shit, I was not ready for that. And as it goes on, you learn more about Samara. First, you got the creepy video, you know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, but then you start to see more and more of Samara, and it's just like, man, and that brings me to my favorite kill. It was from the first Ring, and it's when you really get a full view of what Samara can do. And when the boyfriend, well, I guess he wasn't a boyfriend, but he was an ex-boyfriend, Noah, was sitting in his apartment, and the TV comes on, there's the well, and Samara climbs out of the well, and she's walking towards the camera, but she's like skipping forward a little bit. And then she comes,
end scene, correct?
Yeah, she comes out of the TV, like hands first, dripping wet. She stands up, head down. She just like scoots forward a little bit, like almost like somebody has it in fast forward. And you see her face, for the first time is, not the Samara that was, in the videos prior, but she looks up and the camera just pans in super fast to her eye, and that he's dead. Like, dude, Samara is my number 5. I love
it, Michael.
Yeah, I freaking love Samara.
I don't know if Samara would make my top 20.
Oh, I love Samara,
and I dig that. And it's cool to hear, the passion that you have with Samara. I dig it, man. Yeah, and I actually believe the Ring 2 is a hell of a sequel.
It is.
That's underrated.
Great.
Yeah.
I think a lot of, like I won't watch just, like I'll watch, the other versions of The Ring as well, the overseas versions,
That's cool.
And they're good too. And same with The Grudge. Now, nothing from The Grudge made my list, you know what I mean? But then you have like the epic Freddy versus Jason with Samara and, The Grudge. When that came out a few years ago, I was just like, man, I can't wait to see this. And it finally popped up on Prime and I got to watch it. And was it ridiculous? Yes, it was, but it was ridiculous in a good way that Freddy versus Jason is ridiculous. It's not like.
Let me ask you this.
Tied them together really well.
Let me ask you this. I'm not seeing that film, and when you say you kind of like ridiculous in a good way, can you is it relatable to kind of how you view, say, Jason X? Like it's kind of okay.
No, not like that. More like the way I view Freddy versus Jason. It's more of that. But they do both the characters justice in that.
Okay.
You know, it's without spoilers or telling anyone what happened was, you know, the way that they brought them together was creative. And I think that if I tell you guys the way that they were brought together, it's not really a spoiler. But let's just say that someone watches the video in the Grudge house, you know, and it becomes a combat over who gets the kill. So that's how they bring them together, you know, and man, some of the characters are over the top, ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's definitely a very good one-time watch, at least, you know, to say that you saw it, because anytime you could see two horror icons, you know, throw down, it's a good time.
It is. Wish we'd get more of that.
Yeah.
I really do. I cherish my AVPs and Freddy
Yeah.
vs. Jason, and yeah, cherish them.
All right. That was my number 5, going with Samara.
All right, I'm gonna bring on my boy for number 4, and I'm going with Leatherface.
Leatherface.
I'm going with Leatherface. We're talking number 4, guys.
Yeah.
So we love these guys. We do. And I mean, gosh, is there not a franchise that's just crazy hit or miss? Um, you know, because that's exactly what Texas Chainsaw's done. It's crazy hit or miss. Now, I want to say one thing. '03, and any of you guys that know me well, you know I'm a huge '03 fan, and I believe I am for good reasons. I remember when this movie was coming out, saw it in the theater with my brother, and it was just one of the best evenings. I mean, we loved the movie, left the movie, talked about it till probably, midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. It was just, this is a remake, guys, that in my opinion supersedes the original. In my opinion, I was just blown away. And the look that Leatherface carried is so badass. It makes me look at the 2022 mask like, just what are you doing? What are you doing? It just looks awful. Like, did you not see the '03 how good he looked? And this is what you're going to do now moving forward. But this is just dumb things I think of, guys. I'm all about the look, man. Get the guy's look down, especially if you're talking about an iconic killer such as Leatherface, Michael, Jason. Get his look down and go from there. Build your story. He looks so good. He was portrayed well by Andrew Bernarski, and the characters. You got Jessica Biel in there. They were relatable. They were great, man. They were great. You had top-notch acting. You had Andrew Bernarski portraying Leatherface to his fullest. The kills were insane. It's just, dude, they nailed it. They nailed it, in my opinion. And I'm a fan of the original 1974, and I got high respect for it. I mean, let's face it. People talk about Michael beginning the slashers and whatnot, but as much as I love Michael, no, he did not. You can go back to you got to go back to Psycho and Leatherface. Let's not forget these guys. And what they've done for horror is, something to bow down to. It's just like, I mean, but Leatherface in general, just the whole concept. This is a family of, cannibalistic killers that will skin you alive and wear your face. It's everything a true horror fan, in my opinion, wants. It's terrifying. There's nothing supernatural about Leatherface, so it can hit home as far as like the realism. This could happen. Watch where you're traveling. Don't take the back road. And it's just a fun ride. But unfortunately, they've produced some pretty sorry films. But when they hit it right, I love it. I love my Texas Chainsaw. But what stands out is the original in '03 for me. Go ahead, Michael.
Which Texas Chainsaw was the one where they did the advertisement like the Breakfast Club?
2.
Was that 2?
That's where
They did that?
and that was basic, and that's got a huge, huge fan base. And it's almost strange that that 2 was such a horror comedy, because I would have expected that more like a part 4 or a 5, because 1 was nothing but true horror, and it was successful. So you're gonna piggyback that off with a horror comedy, but it was successful and they nailed it. I enjoy it. It's not my, it's not my top by any means. Like I said, I'm not the biggest horror comedy, at least when it comes down to my favorite franchises or whatever. But yeah, that was
right.
That
like you'd hate to see like Michael Myers dancing around.
No,
you know what I mean?
No,
like,
no.
You'd hate to see
no.
like
But Tucker and Dale, let's put it in.
all day.
Yeah,
Watch Tucker and Dale right now. Watch party starting right
Michael get all goofy. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they did it well.
Yeah.
But before that came out, if I was around that time, and I'm like hearing that Texas Chainsaw 2 is gonna, be, comical and this, I would just be thinking, what? Why?
Yeah.
But look how iconic it is to this day, man. Like it's got a hell of a following, and it's a pretty good movie.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, definitely.
That is 4.
All right, so I am down to number 4. I am going to
exciting.
go.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know. My number 4, I'm going with Valak. I'm going with The Nun. I am throwing her at number 4. For a million reasons. Another character where you talked about the look of Leatherface. Look at The Nun. I mean, there's 2 things that stick in my head with The Nun. All right. There's 2 scenes. One where she's coming out of the water in the movie The Nun, and it's in slow motion, and she's rising up out of the water, and they're playing that freaking music where it's, as she's coming out, and I'm just like, holy shit. Like, look at this, freaking amazing. But my number 1 thing with The Nun was in The Conjuring 2. She's standing at the end of the hallway, and Vera Farmiga's standing there with her daughter, and her daughter's like, who's that? And she just looks at them and walks in the other room. And then the whole deal with the painting where you see the shadow walking on the wall, and it gets behind the painting that her husband painted, and you see the hands come out around it, and then it just goes running forward at her, and the mouth opens. I mean, come on, guys. The Nun, she is like the master of misdirection. You know what I mean? It's not like she's going to pick up a knife and stab you to death. She's just, I absolutely love that character. The Nun is definitely my number 4. Like, it's the way they introduce the Nun. You're going to introduce her in Amityville. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be in the Amityville house, and then she's going to be over in London. It's like, where is this demon not going to go?
And such a great question from her daughter.
Yeah.
Mom, I need to know who this is, because
who's that? You know what I mean? Like,
God, that is so. You're right, Michael. You're right in every way. That scene is so good. Is so good.
And I mean, that's like the first, other than, her little dream sequence at the beginning in Amityville, that's the first time that we really get to see the Nun, standing at the end of the hallway with that look,
looking
just kind
so
of freaking. Good. I mean,
looking
come on.
So good.
Come
Guys,
on,
I've said this, and she is the best looking villain since Jason and Michael Myers, guys. Period. None. Enough said.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot about the Nun for my list, guys.
Are you serious?
Screwed up.
No. I was thinking, damn, this dude's gonna have Nun at like number 3.
Guys,
He's gotta be number 3.
I apologize, man. I tried to do my best, and I tried to not overthink it, but apparently I didn't think enough. But
Well, then, yeah, man, I'll give you a few minutes to talk about The Nun, dude. I mean,
no,
shit, I know you got the bus right behind you right there.
Yeah, I seriously apologize. I went with the don't overthink it, and it didn't work. Yeah, so I won't talk too long about The Nun, but I appreciate you giving me the time.
Yeah.
The Nun is definitely, for me, she's gonna be anywhere from 4 to 6. Let's face it, if not 3. I'm surprised, Michael, because I'm surprised you put her so high, because I know you're not a fan of The Nun, the film.
Yeah, not really.
Or not a crazy film, but you're basically stricken it all. You're basing it on her character alone.
Yeah,
and I get that.
Yeah,
I get that. And we've talked like crazy about the Nun film, and when we disagree, I'll be honest. I 9 times out of 10, I see where you're coming from. I don't know if you see where I am, but I usually see where you're coming from. And with the Nun 2 coming out, we need more Nun, guys. We do. The Nun was, I enjoy it. It was too slow moving. We need some more Nun, and I'm ready for it. And I did get a chance to run into Bonnie in Cincinnati. She says, guys, and I'm sure some of you have maybe got the chance to meet her as well, I hope. And her exact words are that it's going to blow all the other Conjuring films out of the water. And I hope she is right.
I wonder if
that was
not to interrupt you. I don't want to forget.
You're fine.
Like I wonder if Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga will make an appearance in that movie.
I hope so.
Yeah, because one thing she said was when she signed my poster.
Yeah,
she said, "Well, look, I left room for Vera and Patrick on here too."
Really?
Yeah, and I played it off, where I was like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna meet them." You know what I mean?
That's very interesting.
But hey, man,
that's very
never know.
She said that. That's super cool.
She did say that.
And yeah, Vera and Patrick have grown on me in this franchise like crazy. They've just been crazy good. As the Warrens, they've been crazy good. But yeah, I won't go on and on. The Nun's art, man, I could have a shrine of the Nun, posters, bust, figures. Best looking character to come out since Michael and Jason. So, but yeah.
Great character.
So am I on?
We're down to the top 3.
Wow.
The top 3.
Oh man.
You ready for
I got a juggernaut here.
Oh shit. Go.
I got a juggernaut, and it's none other than Robert Englund.
Oh,
Freddy Krueger, ladies and gentlemen. Freddy Krueger. And we've talked a lot about Freddy Krueger, because we did our nightmare rankings, we did our Jason rankings. So I feel there's not a whole lot I have to say about this guy. Where I stand's pretty crystal clear. That first film is just up here. It was so good. It was so good. And I'm not the biggest fan of the rest of the franchise. But I'm also, I was talking to my father with this when I was making the list. Freddy was all through my childhood. Whether it was I'm watching 2, 3, 4, 5, I could always enjoy them. I did find myself wishing that they went back to more of their, the scary, true horror roots. But I can always enjoy them, and they were fun. But that first one was just something special. It was different. This guy that comes at you through your nightmares, so he's basically unstoppable because we all have to sleep at some point.
Yeah,
drink as much coffee as you want, but you're gonna fall asleep at some point. And his look, and I'm gonna go on record. My favorite, in my opinion, the best, most badass, iconic horror weapon of all time is Freddy's glove.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. It's so awesome. Like, I want to know who came up with that idea, but damn, is it awesome.
Yeah.
You know, this glove that he made he made himself, and, you know, this burnt little, you know, smaller man with that. God, guys, he looks so good, and he was terrifying in the original. There were very few movies. Now, I love horror, but by no means, guys, do I never get scared. I do. And as a kid, the body bag, when she's, you know, dreaming in the school and the
Yeah.
body bag raises up, and dude, that terrified me.
Goes dragging along the, yeah.
And the whole no running in the hallway, and even Tina's death, you know, her going all over the wall, and just the place covered in blood. And that actually brings me to my favorite kill is Tina from the original. It was, dude, I couldn't believe it when I was watching it, you know, back in the day. You know, she's just going up and down the side of the wall and covered in blood and getting cut left and right. It was something to see, man. That was a very special movie. He is without a doubt one of the most iconic horror villains of all time. So I'm gonna go with Robert Ing with Freddy Krueger, baby.
Well, I might as well just piggyback off my number 3 is Freddy Krueger.
All right.
So,
all right.
And my kill that I had marked down was kill in the OG Tina's death.
All right.
Flying through the air right next to it. So, another thing, you know, with that, you know, we have a few differences on, you know, why, you know, we like the things that we do. Another, you know, epic kill for me is Welcome to Primetime, bitch. You know, that, look, dude, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm to the point to where part 3 may be taking over as my favorite nightmare movie.
Okay.
Part 3 had the cast, you know, it had the better acting, it had the better idea, you know, to me, of course, you know, this is probably blasphemy to most people talking, but I absolutely love part 3 so freaking much. And it's one of those ones that freaking just the more I watch it, I'm just like, if I'm holding the 2 discs, you know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna watch part 3 before I'm gonna watch part 1.
3 is good, Michael.
3 is freaking amazing. You know, and I happen to be one of those people that agree with you on the 03 remake with Texas Chainsaw. You know, like sometimes, guys, like sometimes, you know, and you guys know me, the OG, you know, I'm usually like, well, the OG's the OG, but for something to overtake the OG, you know, I really think that, you know, Dream Warriors has really got, and it's got the song Dream Warriors in it, for the love of God, man. I was listening to that in my car like 3 days ago. You know what I mean? And that's one you listen to with the windows down. The guy that pulls up next to you at the lights, like, what the fuck is this guy listening to? You know, and you just look at him like,
unless he's got a mold, he gives you that, like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, unless he's that where he's like, you know, I got you, buddy, I get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, you to not put Freddy in your top 3, the character alone, you know, even though part 3 was when he started to make that transition into the MTV Freddy, you know, and he became a little more charismatic. Yeah, charismatic. That's a good word. But he became like you could see he was becoming that pop culture icon. You know what I mean? Like 3 was probably the start of that. Now 4 and 5 and, you know, all the other stuff after that, you know, it did get ridiculous. Granted, 4 does have a little special place for me because you know how I feel about Alice. But you know, I gotta say,
why are we agreeing? I liked 4 as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's Freddy Krueger, number 3. I'm not gonna just sit here and repeat a lot of the great points that, you know, you've pointed out already. But yeah, man, Freddy Krueger
as well is not bad.
No, it's not. I mean, once you start getting to 5, that's where they lost me. You know, I do like A New Nightmare. Also, guys, I want you guys to stick around when this is over because I heard something came out. I haven't found it yet, but if it did, I think you guys will be interested in it. as well. And I just thought of it right now, so I'm going to look for something. Once we finish this list, Matt, I'll let you talk a little bit, so I can look for this. But yeah, man, it's Freddy Krueger all day at number 3 for me.
All right.
All right, let's see if I'm getting butchered in the chat here for liking that. Polar is saying, yes, I love me some Freddy. Gonna dress as him for Scarefest. That'll be freaking awesome.
Nice, Polar. Nice. Very nice.
Nightmare on Elm Street was the first horror movie I watched. Jeff, that's freaking awesome.
That's a great one to start with.
That was hard to watch. Tina's death.
As a 9-year-old kid or whatever you were watching it, it was Russell. Yeah. Absolutely. You're just like, that was creepy as all get out.
Dream Warriors. Yes. Dream Warriors. It's my favorite. No apologies. Polar, thank you very much. I figured I was going to get butchered for that one in here. Love Dream Warriors.
I knew you wouldn't.
Talking about.
There's some big Dream Warriors fans.
James is saying I was never a big Freddy fan, but he has an awesome looking character, and that damn glove is truly an awesome weapon. It is, man.
Yeah, it is.
Russell's also confessing his love for the Dream Child, which I think he's actually not. But yeah, the Dream Child. Oh God.
Now is that 5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, that's
I'm currently
Robert
looking for a good replica of the needle glove that's got the syringes and the little bit of liquid like in each vial, and
from part 3.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was crazy too in part 3. Like her arms, like her little, like that shit was like opening up like little mouths when he was doing that. Like that was. Look, man, 3 is the shit. I'm sorry.
That was 80s horror right there is what that was, like at its best.
You ready for number 2?
3 was good. 3 was good. Let's see here. I am. So I'm going to go. I think you guys know where I'm going from on this one.
You and I, they know where we're going to go, and it's going to be the complete opposite.
It's no joke. I'm going with my boy, and I can call him my boy, Jason Voorhees. Guys, come on. Whatever they're doing with this series that I'm even starting to wonder if it's going to happen, let's do it. Because damn it, Jason's not been on the big screen since 2009, and I'm starting to get a little antsy, man. I need some Jason, man. I need some Jason in my life. Michael, I know you do too, buddy.
You have no idea.
I know you do too. So I don't give a damn what it is, a series, a movie, but yeah, give me some Jason. But guys, I've always said he's a half a step behind Michael for me. Not only is Jason badass, is he iconic, but as far as when it comes to a box set of horror films, the fun level you have, whether you're by yourself or with some buddies, but the level of fun you have watching these Friday the 13th films is something I don't know if we'll ever get again. It's just, I don't know what it is about it. It just, I put those in, I forget about all my worries and cares in the world, and I go back and all of a sudden I'm 12 again watching Jason Voorhees, man. Seriously, it might sound dumb, but that's how I feel.
That's something that those movies do to me, man. Like it takes me back, dude, because it's the amount of countless times that I rented these movies from the video store down the street. Like I was in there all the time. Like it's gonna be Friday 2, it's gonna be Friday 3, it's gonna be Halloween 4, it's gonna be Halloween 1. You know what I mean? Like
and also, if I had to say the most impressive thing, if I had to say just one thing that's super impressive about Jason and Friday the 13th is it's I'm even thinking about now, and it's impressing me is how these movies do not get old. I can watch them guys just constantly, and I feel good. I enjoy them every time, whether it's and we talk about movies that are hit or miss, but there's really only about two or so that I could really care less to watch. Aside from Jason Goes to Hell,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, but I can't even have fun with Jason Takes Manhattan. You know what I mean?
You
Like,
said you can.
yeah, I
I
can.
can too, Michael. I can too.
Like
I
it doesn't
can.
really have that Halloween 3 movie. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have that like we're gonna skip this one because
I can too, and I do not skip it. But I guess I'm just trying to like look at my least favorites. Um, the bad egg there is 9. Is good.
oh
Is goes
god,
to
yeah.
hell. The bad egg. But guys, if you're talking about how many movies is it now, that's not a bad record. If you can watch one anytime, two anytime, three, four, five, that's pretty good. And Jason's just so badass, and he's had some of the best guys portray him, from Brooker to Kane Hodder,
Mhm.
and I won't go on and on, but guys, we need some more. Let's get on. Let's get on it. Let's get that. Let's get that series rolling. But
Give me a Jason kill, Matt.
love me some Jason, and it's another one where you're having a bad day. You can pop just about any Jason in and forget about your worries and go back to your youth and just enjoy yourself. Let's see some boobies and some kills, and let's just let's be 12 again for a minute.
Right?
No, come on.
Give
So,
me a kill. Give me
great
a
stuff,
kill
man.
from Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Number 2.
You gonna give me a kill?
Oh man, I can absolutely give you a kill. I can absolutely give you a kill. I could give you 10 kills, but that's not what we're doing. My number 1 kill, and it's set in stone, guys. I've thought long and hard. It's the wheelchair kill. It's
It's
just
such a good one.
so good. And there's a lot of good ones. And, the ones that, in my opinion, would be number 3 or 4, they're right there with it. Don't get me wrong. But it's something about the wheelchair, and you guys know what I'm talking about, the machete to the head,
The total disrespect.
the total disrespect. And the guy in the wheelchair just goes flying down those steps and it's just so chaotic. Like the wheelchair is going left, right, just you're listening, it's going to tumble over anytime. But they shot that beautifully. It was just, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it didn't take too many. I hope there wasn't too many takes for whoever was riding that wheelchair. But God, it's so cool.
That's
so cool.
freaking awesome.
Wheelchair kill for me.
Atomic JB says, "Hey, Mad Matt, and movies and beyond. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome."
Oh man, Atomic JB, good to see you on here, my friend. Good to see you on here.
If Jason is in the TV series, that would be so freaking awesome.
Yeah, man. Like,
I see
so
when we
ready.
talked a little bit about that, it's like, wouldn't it be cool if like the series starts off with like Jason, full Jason, hockey mask and everything, walking through the woods, and maybe he like kills somebody and then walks up to the lake and looks in the lake, and it just fucking, like he hears some shit of like himself like drowning or something, and then it just flashes back, and then you go into it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like I
that's
think
stupid good. How long have you been thinking about this, Michael? Because
a couple minutes. You know what I mean? But
really cool.
I think that would set the tone for the show. You know what I mean? Like that would set the tone. Like, look, we know why y'all are coming here. We know that Jason's your guy. So we're going to give you a little piece of that. We're going to let him chop somebody down, and then he'll just stand there at the lake looking at it, and then, you start to hear stuff. Maybe you hear Pamela talking to him or something, like you did something.
I want that lake really calm.
Yeah, man.
Like,
She's like yelling at him for something, like, you're so stupid, anything. And then he's flashed back to that moment where you see like little Jason, and she's like yelling at him or telling him something, or, it doesn't have to be mean or anything, or it could be, and then that's what starts off the show. I think that would be so freaking good. Like that would pull everybody in from the get go. Hey, this is about Jason still, but we're
Now
just going to show you how it starts.
and I'll say, Michael, we've talked about, sometimes you like origin stories, sometimes people don't.
Yeah.
As far as Jason Voorhees in my opinion, I am so intrigued about his backstory. I want to know what it was like, him and Pamela and their connection. And I'm so intrigued. I want to know what they were doing and how that went down. And her love for him, and like you said, she could have been yelling at him. She might have had some tough love back in the day, but let's make no mistake, she loved her son.
Oh yeah.
And I want some backstory.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Well, so as Russell reminded me to take a look at the poll, and yes, Russell, I've been looking at it. I just don't like what it says. So as of right now, the Monster Squad is beating the Goonies with 13 votes, 69% to 31%, and I think you've all lost your minds. No, I'm just kidding.
And this is just with
just our people in here.
With our awesome community. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Love the Goonies, you guys. I'm sorry. But that's where we're at right now. I'm sure that we probably won't get too many votes because we are coming up on the 2-hour mark. But yeah, I was just curious to see, where we would end up on that one. But number 2 for me, you already know where I'm going with this because you know me well enough, and probably half of the chat does as well. But I am going with Michael Audrey Myers as my number 2. Now, granted, Michael's not very far behind Jason. As you can see right above my head, I have, the OG. I've got 18, I've got kills, and I've got ends right above my head right there because I love Michael.
And they look great, by the way. They look fantastic.
I'm not going to sit here and repeat everything we said on our Halloween show and everything, but let's just talk about the character in general. Talking to Matt a lot, there are different reasons why people love this character, and I'll talk about why I do. The mystery behind this character is what makes everything to me. The things that leave you with more questions, that's what I want out of this character. I don't want to know all the things that why he does everything that he does, because that's what makes him different to me. That's why he's not like Jason. That's why he's not like any other of the serial killers with a knife that walks around and stabs people. There is no rhyme or reason to this character. This character grew up in Haddonfield. He grew up in a regular suburban area where nothing ever happens. And something happened to this kid to make him like that. And we can't explain it. And the mystery alone to me is what makes Michael so much different. It makes him having the black eyes, not being able to see his eyes behind the mask. He is just, he had Loomis. Loomis studied this guy forever. And I watched him looking at the wall, looking past the wall, waiting for this night. When I looked in his eyes, he had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, all of those things. And, he had Loomis, man. Loomis was constantly pumping this guy up, and saying more and more about him. But even Loomis, in the years that he had him, couldn't figure this out. What he said, I tried to get to him for 8 years and spent the other 8 years trying to keep him locked away because I knew behind those eyes was purely evil. I mean, that is for the upbringing that Michael had, for just being a regular kid, with no signs of being what he became, was what made him so scary. That's what the mystery to me. Exactly. That's just what made him so special to me. That's what put Michael on the map for me. And then, you start to get into these things where people want to know answers to stuff. And to me, that's just lessening the uniqueness of this character. But God, you guys, like literally, he is just right behind my number 1. I mean, they're pretty much toe to toe. You can't go wrong with Michael Myers, freaking anything. I mean, the difference is the different things that we've seen out of Michael. You can go from the OG to Halloween 2. You can go to Halloween 4, which was a great film, by the way. And then you get into 5 and 6, where you got to deal with this whole cult thing, and now he has friends, and I think that's why I don't like those so much, because I don't ever see Michael belonging to a club, and that's exactly what that was. And you get an H2O. I feel like they kind of reeled it back and gave us a little bit more of the original type of Michael, although the atmosphere wasn't really in that one. As far as it didn't really feel very Halloween to me, until the end. And then we won't even talk about Resurrection. But then 18 comes back and says, we're going to take it back to the roots, and we're going to give you the Michael back that, a lot of you wanted, or some of you wanted. And I think that's why I like 18 so much, because it's back to, there is no reason other than he's been locked away and hasn't spoken a word in 40 years. And then you get kills, and then unfortunately you get ends. But man, I absolutely love this character. And if I had to choose one kill from Michael, it would actually be from the original. It would be the Bob kill. As much as it doesn't make any sense, there's no logic behind a knife being able to support the body like that. But to me, as a kid, that was the first kill where you actually saw him do the head tilt, and he was just standing there, and you saw it, and you're just like, oh my God, this guy's a freaking beast. Like, look at this dude. And shortly after, you get him coming out of the dark with the mask that lights up behind Jamie Lee Curtis, and you're just like, oh my God, look at that mask. I absolutely love Halloween. I absolutely love Michael Myers, and Michael Myers is my number 2.
I love hearing you talk about Michael Myers. All great things. So, buddy, go
real
ahead.
quick.
Yeah.
Russell saying even Dr. Loomis couldn't explain what made him tick, and he couldn't.
No, he came down to pure evil.
Yeah,
and let's face it, he was right.
Yeah,
and he didn't base that because he read a file and talked to him for 10 minutes. This guy studied this man, this child, for years and years, and basically still comes up with pure evil. That's what's so bone chilling, because he's correct. And you can say what you want, but that's what it comes down to. Pure evil, what is inside him. Like, you can't say he had brain trauma. You roll out, Loomis has looked through everything, he's rolled out everything, and he's come up with pure evil. That's bone chilling, and that's what Michael Myers is. And that brings me to my number 1, Michael Myers, ladies and gentlemen. And I do not have a whole lot to say, because Michael, you killed it. You absolutely killed it. And I love, I know we disagree on Rob Zombie's film, where they give you a backstory and things. I guess what I'm able to do is separate films. I can watch the Rob Zombie, but I can also, after that, I can put in the original, and I can go back to that. I know nothing about this guy. I'm just watching this film for what it is, and I can even enjoy the fact that I know nothing about him, because I'm just strictly focusing on that film, I guess, if that makes any sense. But I love what you say, because it is really cool when you don't know anything about him or why he's there. It is cool. He's the shape. There's no rhyme or reason. So if I'm going to say anything, because you just nailed it, but if I want to say anything, it's going to come down to Michael's look. Baffles me about it. It's like, because let's face it, it's so simple.
Yeah.
But, there's guys that are drawing, as far Marvel, sci-fi, they work their ass off to draw and create crazy characters and monsters, that have from two-headed dragons to you name it. Michael Myers is a man in coveralls with a Captain Kirk mask painted white. And in my opinion, he looks better than any character you could ever imagine and come up with and create with computers, with whatever you got. And if you put it in that sense, that's impressive, guys. That's stupid impressive. And this is a mask they paid like $1 for, that now we'll spend 500 to get a mask that looks like the original that cost $1,
Right.
and some change with, whatever the spray paint was, it's so freaking good. It's almost like this happy accident, if you ask me. And they when they made it, when they come up with the character, I guarantee you can talk to any of them, Nick Castle, Deborah Hill. There's no way they thought that it would be what it is to this day. So many years later, there's no way. Donald Pleasance was pissed off that he even had the role. He was looking at it as a step down because Donald Pleasance, guys, was an established actor. He was no bum. And at that time, for an established actor to later in their career be doing some type of horror film was viewed as like a step down. I'm doing this for the money, but this is a fact, and it's noted. He was grumpy. They say he stayed in his trailer drinking alcohol. He was not in a great mood. He just it's something he didn't want to do. He looked at it as a step down. But I guarantee he would feel differently today because damn it, do we love him. And he has got a fan base that will, we love this guy. Now, I'm not saying after he was, doing 4, 5, and 6, he might have had a different, mindset after that. And he saw the success of the film, but that's a fact. When he was doing the original, he was pissed, and it was a big step backward for him. But Michael Myers, man, is the man, and I don't have a whole lot more to say. Michael, you killed it, and he will always be my number one. And the last thing I'll say is, I'm not a big fan. You guys know I cannot stand Halloween Ends, but I've put it away. It's done. It's its thing. Is what it is, Michael. And they're gonna bring him back. They're gonna bring him back, and I hope they do it right. But you can't kill the boogeyman, guys. That's true. It's true. I don't care if he went in a blender or whatever. You can't kill the boogeyman. My boy will be back. Michael's my number one. I love him. Go ahead, Michael.
I think that, something else that Michael has, above the rest is the tone and the atmosphere of the music that goes with him. You know what I mean? Like, you see Michael standing there somewhere. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Then you see Michael standing there where you're getting that dun, dun, dun. You know what I mean? Like, that's a totally different tone of, holy shit, this dude's coming. You know what I mean?
This franchise comes with a 6 score. A 6.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. I mean,
But
it's something else Michael has. Like,
I absolutely know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, not only does he have Loomis pumping up the crowd for this guy coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got that soundtrack when he hits. It's like a old school wrestler's theme hitting, when freaking, you know what I mean? It's just like
blast breaking.
Here he comes. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, you already know what's going down. Once you hear that dun, 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 dun,
Yes.
it's like, oh shit.
Yes.
Here comes the boogeyman. Oh shit,
Yeah.
it's a shape. Like it's freaking great.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I almost forgot my kill.
Yes.
And guys, I gotta go. It's simple, but it's one I always think about. And I love when an icon shows power and strength. I love it. I love it. So I'm going to number 2. When he sticks the nurse with the scalpel, picks her up with one hand. Do you guys know how hard that would be. It would be hard, Michael. And he not just picks her up with one hand, but just holds her there until her shoes just slowly fall onto the floor. And that just gets me pumped, man. And he just lets her down. That's my favorite kill. I I love it. But when they show just raw superhuman strength, I love it. I love it. So that's my favorite Michael kill.
That's freaking awesome. That is freaking awesome.
And I like your Ghost Bob as well. So like that head tilt is just is crazy good.
Okay. So number one for me, we already know where we're going with this. Jason Voorhees. I mean, that's my guy. You know, and you spoke a lot about, you know, the feeling you get when you watch um you watch the Friday the 13th movies. Especially the first four, you know.
It's magical, isn't it?
It is. Like I feel like it's definitely the tale of, you know, two different Jasons. You know what I mean? Like when you got, you know, Jason in 2, 3, and 4, you know, after 4 he becomes something different. And you know, I don't think either one of them is better than the other one. But you definitely get that. And it's just freaking it's freaking amazing. Like I love Jason. You know, like that's my guy. I got my masks are always with me here. You know what I mean? Part seven's my favorite look of Jason, you know, of all time. Period. You know, they're gonna have to come out with something ridiculous, you know, to ever jump in front of that.
Yeah.
But the way that his mask is tore up when he comes out of the water, spine showing, bones sticking out. And that's, you know, first appearance of Kane Hodder. You get the breathing with that. You know what I mean? It's just he just evolves, you know, he becomes, you know, more. And this will always hold a special, you know, place in my heart from being a kid and watching these over and over again. And like you were saying before, man, like I never get sick of them. Like there may be some that I want to watch more than others, but for the most part, it's just like, man, it's freaking fantastic. Jason to me, it's Michael to you. You know what I mean? Like the atmosphere I get from those movies and you know, like there's something that's gonna make my head turn every time. It's when you get that you know, it's just holy shit. Like it's going first time I hear that in the new show, like I'm gonna be bouncing around like crazy. You know, because it how many years has it been since I've heard, you know, a new one? You know, not just one that I've watched on repeat. You know, it's there's something to be said about that, man. And you know, the first, you know, 4 movies they did that first person point of view where you didn't know if it was really Jason or you didn't know, you know, who was watching who, and they played around with that the
It's something
camera.
special how they don't get old. It's something so special. They just don't.
Yeah, I mean 2, 3, and 4, I can watch those 100 times. I can put
Yeah.
those in right now, you know, and watch all 3. Like they're Jason to me, he's definitely the ultimate mama's boy. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't nobody's gonna tell him to his face. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, hell, I can relate. Hell, I'm a mama's boy. Whatever.
it's like that's my guy, man. And that's always gonna be my guy. Like it's just something about him, man. And I don't know if I've fully figured it out, you know, what it is. All I know is, you know, that's the one for me. You know, that's freaking Jason. And it's just oh wow, man. Like I can't say enough good things, but at the same time I don't want to say all the things that you said already. But yeah, Jason Voorhees, definitely my number one, and I can't wait for this new show to come out, which they are in meetings about right now. So Adrian King showed up, they took a picture, they put it up on Instagram where she was there with them. So she's gonna have a role in that as well.
Now, I'm not always the best with names. Is Adrian the original Final Girl?
She is the original final girl.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So
Very nice.
she kind of gets a little redemption for her her thing that she had going on with that whole, you know, franchise and everything.
And I know, Michael, you had something you wanted to look up,
Yes,
and
I
I can
do.
totally
I do
go
because
right ahead and look that up.
yeah.
I'll I love your number one. I'm gonna I'll talk with you guys a little bit about some honorable mentions, if if that works out, and um, you can do your thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I did not make a list for honorable mentions, and I'm still pissed at myself about the Jaws and the Nun, the Jaws and the Nun, and I want to hear what you guys what you guys have as your list. But it's hard, but it's fun when you start, thinking about all the iconic killers. You've got, you've got Harry Warden. He was awesome.
Mm.
Harry Warden was awesome. You know, I even wanted to throw, like I said, Terrifier. He's got to be. What I was worried about, one thing that kept me from putting him in the top 10 is like I was thinking, like, am I just doing this because he's so fresh? Because when it comes to iconic, you got to go with the people that are timeless. Michael, Jason, Freddy, they're timeless. I
Right.
love Art, but is he hot right now? In 5 years from now, is he going to be in my, is he going to be number 6 or 7? I don't know yet. I don't know. I enjoy his films, but, so many good icons out there. Leprechaun, guys. Leprechaun. In my opinion, 1 and 2, they were fantastic. And Warwick Davis, dude, he killed that role. He absolutely killed that role. Crushed it. He was the creepiest leprechaun I've ever seen in my life. I want to say he's got to be somewhere in maybe the 15 or so. Another one that is way up there for me, guys, but I wasn't sure if he needs to go more in sci-fi or fantasy. But you can look at Predators and Aliens. I thought long and hard about that. I'm a huge Predator fan, and if you want to put Predator in strictly a horror top 10, he's going to be up there. He's going to be up there in the mix of 1, 2, and 3. He's going to be somewhere in between, Jason and Michael. But yeah, what do you think about that, Michael? That's a good question. Like, as far as because I'm surprised and we didn't. We didn't discuss that as far as our xenomorphs and predators going to be involved, but that had to come to your mind.
It did. I thought about it. Like, do I really want to do that? And I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Predator. I love Aliens. But I don't
because
really
where you threw me off, where I'm like, is when you said Jaws.
Yeah.
Because again, Jaws is way up there for me.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing I kind of left him out because I look at him. I was looking more like I guess human form type of villain, if that makes sense. Not so much creature.
Pumpkin heads, kind of.
Okay, you got me there. You got me there. Yeah. So okay, who knows what I was thinking, but yeah.
So what I was looking for on here, you guys, like I found it, but for some reason YouTube sucks and it's not letting me play it. Like I am just free. So the teaser trailer for Dylan's New Nightmare came out this week.
Okay.
And it won't let me freaking play it, and I don't know why. It's aggravating. Maybe I'll have to do it on next week's show, but I don't know what I have going on here. But YouTube's being stupid about it.
Well, we will absolutely have a show next Sunday.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we'll get together. We'll talk a little bit backstage after this is over to figure out what that's going to be about. But man, it was so good being back, you guys. And I'm
It
currently
was
right
fun.
now looking at our subscriber count, and we are at 402 subscribers. And I want to thank you guys so much for us hitting 400 again. Um, it's just it's freaking fantastic. And I mean the speed that this is rising for us. You know, we really haven't been doing these shows too terribly long, so I'm just looking forward to the future and giving you guys way more content than what we have been giving. So
Thank
definitely
you
having a
guys
great
so
time.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you guys so much. Um, we've got a great group of people here too. I, I absolutely love it.
yeah,
This is
definitely.
what I look forward to all week long.
Yeah, of course,
It's
of
like
course.
my week might be absolute shit, but at the end of the week, if I could come here and talk horror with you good people, everything will be all right. Be all
Yeah,
right.
definitely. Jerry Wilson swing by saying hi, Matt, Mike. What's going on,
Jerry,
Jerry?
hello, my friend. Hello, Jerry. Good to see you, buddy.
Russell's asking, when is the fan film Dylan's New Nightmare? It shouldn't be that far off. They're releasing a trailer already. So I heard originally it was summer. But I will do my best to find out if they've put a date out yet or not, and then that way I could talk about it, because this is one that I am really looking forward to seeing. Because you don't see a lot of fan films with the Nightmare on Elm Street, at least ones that are done right. And if any of you guys have seen what Dave McRae looks like as Freddy Krueger, it's just freaking amazing. So I can't wait to see this one. And I'd
Fuck.
also like to do a Wes Craven's New Nightmare watch party before that comes out, just so we're all fresh on what's going on with the story. So when we pop into that, we'll know exactly what's going on in case there's a lot of references from the movie, and we're all caught up with that and we don't miss
Okay.
anything. So I think that's going to be super cool. But I think we have a few months um, before that comes out. But that's definitely something I will be watching really closely. And I
And
had an absolute blast with this tonight, you guys.
Russell, if I don't say it enough, you are the man, and I so appreciate your support, my friend. Yeah, I love you, brother.
It's freaking great.
You're awesome, man.
But I had a great time. But I think that it's time to go for the night, you guys.
Yeah, we'll and then we'll talk backstage, and we will come up with something. I have no doubt, guys. It's good. It'll be killer next Sunday. So we'll get to talk more horror.
But thanks again, everyone. And if you haven't already, please hit that like button for us. And if you think about it, exit out of the video and go back in to the replay and leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think. And that helps us out a lot too. So again, thank you everybody for coming tonight. And we will definitely see you next time.
Take care.